Hey everybody, and welcome back to Tenza Motorsports. Today we're going to be doing the CAE shift rod. Now this is a complementary part to the CAE Ultra Shifter that we have in this car. But before we get into that, make sure you are subscribed to the channel, like if you enjoy this type of content. Also make sure that you are following us on Instagram. We just recently did a super clean giveaway. We will be doing more giveaways as time goes on. All you have to do to be part of those is make sure you're following us on Instagram, because that's where we pull our winners from. So this rod right here is, I believe it's the longer one. So I'm not going to talk too much about that because I ordered this quite a while ago and I don't actually remember. I'll try to get a part number for this. And basically what this does is, instead of having the standard shift rod that's in there, and when you're shifting, it gives it kind of a weird geometry to it. And this one right here will actually center that shifter. So this should make it a little bit more direct feeling, should stiffen it up a little bit more, and should actually be better for both your transmission and your CAE Ultra Shifter. One of the things that I noticed recently going through Hard Motorsport, because Hard Motorsport was the ones that I purchased this from, and the CAE Ultra Shifter, is that CAE themselves is actually reducing some of their output. So hopefully I'm not reviewing and installing a product that you guys can no longer get, but they did make quite a bit of these, and it's just a good idea to upgrade that rod that's in these cars. This will help the geometry a little bit. It is adjustable, and like I was saying earlier, if you don't have your CAE Ultra Shifter perfectly lined up to the transmission, you can actually damage things. So you have to be really careful about that, and this will actually help that as well. I should have done this a long time ago, and I basically, I don't want to say cheaped out, but I didn't purchase it initially, and then I did buy it, and then I had lost it in my garage for like 2 months. So this was supposed to be put on the car a long time ago, and today's the day. One thing I do want to go over real quick before we get into it, because I've gutted so much out of this car, probably going to be a little bit easier for me to get at my shifter rod than it might be for you on your daily driver or something like that, or one where there's a bunch of heat shielding and stuff underneath there. I am basically going to be able to get at my original rod without taking anything off. I'll pull the clips off. I'll show how to do that. We'll remove the old one. We'll slip this one up in there, and that's kind of it. There's not really much to it. The CAE Ultra Shifter is just above us right there where I'm touching. So what we'll be doing is removing the clip that's on this far side, just out of view on the other side of the drive shaft. And then over here, it actually replaces that bushing. Sorry, this is really difficult to get back up under here. But there's a bushing that sits right here. It's the cap that goes over top of the shift linkage into the transmission. And we'll be replacing that as well. So yeah, again, it's gonna be kind of difficult for me to show it here on the car, but I'm gonna get it pulled out. We'll show what it looks like side by side, and then we'll get the new one put in. So it looks like a bit of a mess, but it's really not that complicated. This is the original bar, and basically you have two bushings. So you'll have the one, and then this will slip through, I believe this is the transmission side. And so that will slip through this guy here, and then you'll have a clip. The other side goes to your shifter, and you'll have a bushing, and then it goes through the shifter, and you have another bushing, and then you have this clip. This right here goes through here onto your transmission, and then it's got a snap ring on it. So the only thing that this is doing is holding in that pin so it doesn't fall out. So what we'll be doing is reusing this pin here and this lock ring, and then we'll take all of this stuff here, and we don't need any of that anymore. This has an adjuster on it, and I believe this is the longer one. So the shorter one is for the Getrag, and I believe the longer one's for ZF. I'm not sure exactly how that works out, but basically it's the difference between like the 325s, 323s, the 330s, things like that. So you'll want to make sure that you're getting the correct length. So it will literally be about the same length as this. So I'm going to roughly put it where I think it needs to sit. So I will line this one up here, because from what I could tell, this is almost the same size. So I'm lining that one up there. Line that one up here in the back. I'll snug it down, but we can always adjust it later. This is a 1/2 inch or 13. And then the other thing you want to do is make sure that you're not twisted like this. You'll make sure that you're flat. And then you'll leave this out. You'll put this snap ring, I always put it all the way on past And then when we slide this on and drop that pin through, then you just push the snap ring forward and it clicks in. The back here, real quick, I'll grab the other piece. Just through here, maybe the other side, through like this. These are super tight tolerances, which is why you have to be careful with CAE parts, because if you don't line stuff up right, you can damage things. So anyways, I'll play with this a little bit more, but basically you'll slide that through. You have this clip there for that one. And then if you look, this one doesn't have a clip on it. So it gives you one here, and then one on this side, and you'll reuse that pin and snap ring. All right, well, let's go get this put on and then we'll go for a drive. Okay, well, this is the best position for some reason I can't seem to show, but there's that back pin. So this one here was the new pin that they gave us, and then an E-clip. This has been adjusted so that it's in its neutral position, it's sitting straight up and down. You can adjust that depending on what needs to be done. And then up here in the front, I don't know if you can see, all the way back up in here, that is set up the exact same as the OEM one. So yeah, sorry again that this is so tight and it's hard to show off what's going on, but we're gonna pull it off the lift and go take it for a drive. I'm gonna apologize right now because this car is really loud on the inside. You can hear the popping in the back. It's a race car. It's not very quiet. Normally I've got noise canceling headphones with a mic so you can talk to the passenger, but right now it's just gonna be the camera and I. Right off the bat, it's a lot tighter than it used to be. And the best way to explain that, because I think that's third, instead of having the gears like this, it went like that, and it dropped them real close to each other. Also, sorry for all the paint on my hands. I was getting a little bit dirty at work. And what that does is it doesn't make you very certain about what gear you're going into. We're gonna go back down here, so I'll talk about third. I don't know how much of this you can probably see, but so I'm gonna be in first real quick. Oh, by the way, I have launch control now. We'll talk about that in another video. But first gear and third gear are very difficult to find. It's made the gearbox super tight. I am getting better. I'm getting better. I just went from second to third and it felt really good, so we'll just have to see how it goes. If I really hate or love this product, I'm sure I'll mention it later on. I try to do follow-ups on things and talk about different reviews, especially tonight where I'm a little bit packed for time. So there's fourth, okay, so fourth gear. It's almost like move my entire shifter like this way. So maybe I need to adjust it where the original one allowed you to tilt. I'm wondering if, because now that you've got a solid rod, I'm wondering now because that rod has been centered and there's not a lot of tilting this way, maybe the part that goes to the transmission and the part that comes to the shifter need to be like over just slightly like this. I'm not sure. I'll have to do some research on it, but it's definitely changed the way the car feels. So, but other than that, I am very happy with this. It's race car stuff. I really wish, this is one of the things that bothers me the most about doing race car parts is that how it's supposed to feel? Is that how it's supposed to sound? Is that how it's supposed to look? And when you're doing modifications like this, there's not a lot of information out there. If I go and type in all these keywords, oh, does my BMW this year, blah, 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 supposed to feel like this? By the time you search that many keywords, Google has no idea what you're talking about. And it's very difficult to get that information. So it is nice to have people like Hard Motorsport. They've helped me out a lot in the past. And you've seen a lot of their products on this car, and we haven't seen anything for a while because I did that daily driver S54 wagon build. I didn't need any Hard Motorsport parts for that car necessarily because it's a daily driver. Where now that we've got that other car, the M3, we're going to be doing a lot more parts through them. So I did the bulkhead delete plate. We're going to have to do one of those, and probably some door cards, things like that Hard Motorsport makes custom. So I'll have the link to everything that we use today in the description below. As always, if you have any comments or questions, leave them down in the comment section below. Thanks everybody so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.
Bam!